Welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but probably should. And I've got a very special guest on the line. I've got Ian Webster. How are you, mate?
Woody, brilliant. I thought you was going to start rapping over the top of that music then.
Well, the girls chose that music. They said it's up vibe, and so if I'm boring, at least they can just redo the music the whole time. So fair enough. Good call.
I like it. I like it.
I'm so grateful to have your time. Now, we haven't spoken for a while. We're going to get to that in a sec. But in a moment, I'm going to ask you if that's okay to check in. If I said out of 5 being awesome, 1 being hideous, how are you travelling at the moment?
Oh, 3.5.
3.5?
3.5, but not willing to roll for a 5 yet.
All right, we might get there by the end. And what's something at the moment that you're really grateful for, Webby?
My family, mate.
Yeah, family?
Wife and 2 kids. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, look, let's get into it. I want to have a good chat to you tonight, and we're doing a series at the moment on movement, and what better person to speak to than yourself. I know you from the times we used to work together. A lot of respect for you. But for the people who don't know you out there, let's just sum up who is Ian Webster. Give us like a 30 to 60 seconds on the spot. Who is Webby?
30 seconds, elevator pitch. Ian Webster. I would like to think this. It's hard to say myself, but I would like to think people would say former international rugby league player, kind of middle of the road, never really got to the top. Always worked as hard as I could. Came from nothing over in England at St. Helens. Worked as hard as I could, but never had the most talent, but always outworked anybody around me. Finished rugby league, and the principles of success are the same. So I went over into boxing, applied those same principles, and then I think within 2 or 3 years, I was Golden Gloves champion, Queensland champion, and Australia champion. And, mate, people should probably know you was at, I believe, when I won the Golden Gloves. I think you were there.
Yeah.
Up in Townsville, is that right?
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. So thanks to you two for coming along and giving me a bit of support. That was a crazy night, that one. I don't know if you want to get into it now, but the whole circumstance around it, mate. So I don't know if you remember, but I went up a couple of nights ahead of you guys because I had to cut a heap of weight and weigh in at 79. I went in, weighed in, cut about 10 kilos in those 2 days.
Holy hell, 10 kilos in 2 days?
10 kilos in 2 days, mate. I spent about 8 hours in the sauna in 48 hours. Anyway, weighed in on the morning at 79, and the guy that was supposed to fight me dropped out, so I won automatically. Went back to the hotel, had a massive feed, was about to get on the beers, and my coach phoned me and said, "Oh, mate, you can actually fight if you want to. The army champion has turned up, the Australian army champion has turned up, and he's happy to fight for the 86 kilo Golden Gloves if you want to jump in." And that's when I was like, oh, shit, we're just about to get my first beer down me. And
I know the Webby competitive spirit would have been annoying your brain cells. They're going, let's go.
So I jumped on the scales at the hotel. I was like, oh, would I still be under? I was 85.4, so I quickly ran down, hopped on the scales, weighed in, and then the rest was history. I think I put a good beating on him that night. I remember after, I think, the 3rd or 4th time I put him down in the second round, I looked over to his corner and I said, "Look, please stop the fight. I don't want to hurt the guy."
Oh, well, yeah.
And they did in the end. So when we were all having a beer later, he actually came over and he said, "Oh, I heard what you said to the corner and I want to thank you because there was no way I was quitting." And I was like, man,
that's good.
The last thing a tough fighter needs is a tough corner. That's the last thing a tough fighter needs. So I was happy I said something. I felt a bit, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I just wanted to win. So
yeah, that's respectful, mate.
But yeah.
No, well, you've achieved a lot, and you're a very humble man. Again, I've already heard you say once in the podcast, and we've only been going for a few minutes, about how you're just average at this, but worked hard, but in the same principles. But you got to give yourself some credit. We met you obviously out there at Rocky, and we're looking for a mentor. Typically, we'd gone for teachers to help with our education program that had sort of sport, personal development, strength and conditioning, and educational in one package. And when Rach and I talked to you, we just walked away just excited about saying this is the guy who needs to be mentoring our kids. And And we're just fired up that you could help us out with League Tech there, mate. And you're just such a great ambassador for us out there. And
Mate,
it was unreal.
I still think about this now. Honestly, do you know what? For you two guys, I reckon you were 3 years ahead of your time. Because if you think back to the situation with the schools and the reluctance for the parents to let their kids look at alternative education, if there had been 3 years later when COVID kind of exposed the system that it is, I think there would have been so many more people looking for alternative education right then.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were just passionate, mate. It was never a job for us. Like even when we were leaving home in Brisbane and thought, okay, we're going to Mackay and Rocky, and then we'll come home and then we'll go to Townsville and Cairns. And it was never like, oh gosh, we're on the road again. It was like we are fired up to see the mentor and the kids and just seeing what they're doing, and just seeing your faces was just exciting us. And what you did with those young people was just amazing.
Yeah, no, I think you two deserve the credit for that. And probably a good story for you. I don't know. I won't say his name, but a couple of the kids that we had in that class, they're married with kids now together. So
so good. So
yeah,
good.
Can you hear? Are you getting? Is that you or me?
What's that?
Oh, you can't hear it. There's some sort of ringing going on. Sorry.
Oh, is it? No. I'm ready for the third round, mate. Let's go. All right. Well, let's get into the Webby story, right? Let's talk about Webby growing up. Where'd you go for a bit of history, if that's all right? So let's paint the picture. Where were you born?
Yep.
Who were you living with? Schooling? Let's go through a bit of a journey here.
All right. So born in St. Helens.
Yeah.
Lived there all my life until I was 21. But from the age of 3, 4, 5, my life was all fighting. So my family were all fighters. The area that I lived in, you had to be able to fight. So that was kind of drummed into the kids. Yeah. My family they weren't travellers, but they were very close to all the travellers. So there was a lot of bare knuckle fighting in and around us every week. So violence and looking at fighting was nothing new to me by the age of 4 or 5 years old. And then I found a rugby league team down at Blackbrook Royals. Now, all still only 5, and you had to be 6 and a half to play. So my dad took me down, and being the man that he is with a lot of contacts in the area, they let me play a year above my age. And it turned out to be a super successful team, national champions, went all over Europe, just for a local town of 60,000 people. But in our team, there was myself, James Roby, played 520 games for St. Helens. James Graham obviously came over here. So I think out of our group of 17 6-year-olds that started together there, 13 of us ended up playing Super League, which is unheard of. It's quite astonishing looking back. Mate, look, from school, I was in a poor area of St. Helens, really poor, like gangs and just a really bad place to be. But it was all I knew and great people, obviously. Yeah. When I was, I'd want to say teenager, St. Helens, I was kind of already in with St. Helens at that stage, and they put me into a Cowley Language College, which specialised in rugby union and rugby league. So then my life then became 6:30 a.m. wake up every morning, cycle to school in the pissing down rain, which was about 15, 16 k's away.
Yep.
Sit in wet uniform all day at school, do what I needed to do, straight to St. Helens, cycle to St. Helens ground, which was old Knowsley Road back then. I think me and Bish spoke about this back in the day there. Yep. Probably 7k ride after school, straight to training, get there about 4 p.m, train until 8 p.m, and cycle home, probably another 10k's at about 9 p.m. at night, freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
And that was 5 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, I'd be playing all over England on the Saturday, rugby union, and Sunday playing rugby league. So my life was literally, it was. My brother and sister joke about it now. They reckon I was one of those, what are they, child soldiers for sport.
You got a bit of marathon runner, mate, the way you get the aerobic. Your aerobic endurance must have been insane. So did you use sport as a purpose or an escapism from what you're surrounded by? What was a big...
I think it gave me an identity, Woody. Yeah. It gave me an identity that wasn't what everybody expected me to be.
Yeah.
Like even to the age of 17, 18, 19, mate, to leave in St. Helens, there was still everybody expecting me to fall back in and become a drug dealer, dead or in prison by 20.
Yeah. So what were you different?
I knew that. I knew that perception.
What made you different?
Well, I mean, 14 years of all that efforts to get somewhere, I wasn't willing to just throw it away.
Mm.
And luckily for me, the big drug dealers around the area were close friends and family. So they, there's times where I messed up, but they were always there. They were never trying to drag me back in. They were always pushing me the other way, and they knew there was something there to get out of. Now, that maybe they didn't have.
Well, I've heard this before. So I've heard this from, and I've been blessed that I haven't been through what you've been in that environment. But I've heard this before where people have said that if they're surrounded by people who are in the local community who may be drug dealers, into violence and that, sometimes they can still be part of their community that still looked up, like they still look after them because they know they're not like that and they're still protecting them.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you firsthand, if there was any issue that I ever had, I wouldn't have to drive. I wouldn't have to drive to find help. It'd just be a phone call. And anything I needed would get taken care of. But they would never let me do it myself, if that makes sense. It would always be done for me.
So if you're around that environment a lot, Webby, and you had your passion in sport, does that mean, like, did that sort of affect your schooling? Like, were you poorly behaved at school, or were you driven at school? Like,
No, mate. I was always smart. I just wasn't interested, Woody. I just did enough to keep people off my back, education-wise, to let me use this school as a vehicle, because they were brilliant with sports.
Yeah.
So for example, I got expelled in year 10 for letting fireworks off in the playground. So, because I'm traveling from a poor area into this big rich area to go to school, I used to buy whatever I could in my area, take it to school and sell it. One day I ended up letting some fireworks off, kicked out. So I said to the head teacher, I said, listen, I won't turn up to any classes. I won't turn up to school. But if you let me do my final exams at the end of year 11, I'll still play for your rugby team on a weekend. And that was a deal that we made. So
yeah, wow.
So then I just had to
get the assignment.
Stick around long enough to get that done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what happened after school, mate? Like after you finished, did you go into year 12 somewhere as well?
I didn't have a chance. Look.
No. Okay.
Straight from school, I was already playing against men. I was straight in. So it was a baptism of fire at that stage. 17 years old, I was playing. I think by 17, I was actually the captain of the under-21s at St. Helens, which was pretty big.
That's massive.
And then a couple of setbacks, got in a bit of trouble a few times. James Roby and James Graham took off into the top team. I stayed in the 21s until I was, I think, 18 and a half, just out of punishment more than anything. And then at 19, played Super League then.
Yeah, right. And were they good memories of playing?
The best.
Yeah?
Oh, the best club, the best culture. I can't think of anything negative about the time there. Even as a teenager, the way you looked after, and the whole town is behind anybody that's involved. It's a real community-based club.
Yeah, so good. And so what time did you end up, like how long when did you finish there? How old were you when you finished at St. Helens?
Left St. Helens at 2000. So left, I want to say 2007. We beat the Bronx in the World Cup Challenge, won the Super League and the Challenge Cup that year. And then I signed for Widnes. I did a year there.
Yeah.
and we won the Northern Rail Cup. And then that's when I made the move down to Bridgend to play for the Crusaders that had just stood up a franchise.
Okay.
So probably young. I was 19. I'm probably off by a year there. I think everything you can move forward a year.
Yeah, okay.
So at 21, then I was playing for the Crusaders with all the Aussie lads that had moved over.
Okay. And was there a difference in skill level between those, or similar, like work ethic, coaching wise? Was it all pretty similar? Pretty similar standard? Look, I don't want to bag anyone, but was there? Yeah.
I mean, look, success. Like, imagine it this way: like 50, 60, 70 years of winning non-stop. It brings a certain culture, and then a team that's in its second year of its life, no less talent or the culture was brilliant. Like with John Dixon was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just that Daniel Anderson had a whole club and a whole town and a whole city behind him, where John was plonked into the middle of South Wales to create a club, and that's what we were there to do.
Yeah.
Equally as good times, mate. We catch up. Most of us are back over in Australia now, so we catch up once a year. We were just down on the Gold Coast, October 26th for that would be our 15 or 20 year reunion.
Yeah. Nice.
And it was brilliant because in the casino, in the bar at the back there was probably just 15, 20 of us sat around this bar. We stayed for 3 nights each, got the penthouse there. And on the table at the side of us was the Eels, I want to say 76 Peter Wynn.
Yeah.
The whole club was sat there. And we told them what we were doing, and they said, well, we're on our 50-year reunion. I was like, holy shit. Well, I hope we're still doing that in 35 more years. So
how good's that? And
it was good to see.
That camaraderie, you can't replace it, can you?
No, you can't replace it. No.
Sport does.
God knows, I've tried several times since I retired, but it can't be replaced.
And what position were you mainly playing, Webby? Were you playing a few different positions, or did you have a main position?
I went through the whole spectrum, to be honest with you. I started out as a fullback over in England, and then St. Helens got their hands on me early doors, put a heap of weight on me, so I moved into lock.
Yeah.
And back then, lock was a different role. Jason Hooper, Paul Sculthorpe. It was a different role. It was a second 6. And then the older forwards went big, so they moved me into 6.
Yeah. And
then from there, I moved into 9. And then something funny happened towards the end of my career. In the Welsh team, Iestyn Harris put me in the centres, which you never usually move back that way. It's usually you always move in as you get slower. Yeah. But it was just for my defence, so we had Lee Breers in the team, who's an absolute genius with the football. And it was just simply to just take some heat off him. That was my job.
Okay.
Breezy said to me in one of the first meetings, he said, if I make 4 tackles in this game, you haven't done your job. And it was tongue-in-cheek, but I knew he meant it.
Yeah, okay. And did you have a favourite position out of all those?
No. Early on in my career, I said to myself, how can I make sure I'm in any team that I'm ever in? And it was goal kicking. So I was one of the best goal kickers in every team, every league I ever played in. So I just always worked on that to at least get myself a spot on the bench in any team.
Yeah.
And my defence, and obviously just working hard and being respectful.
Okay. And so what year did you come back? Did you come over to Rocky?
So I came in 2009.
Yeah.
Came over here, and then that was it. Then I never played full time anymore. It was just part time. I'd travel down to the Broncos training every now and then, but Wayne had agreed a deal for me to come over the year before, but then by the time I'd got here, Wayne had gone and Ivan Henjak had took over, and he just had different plans, and I wasn't involved in them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did that affect you much? Or did that upset you?
No, it doesn't. Probably did at the time. But, mate, I was happy playing Q Cup. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Standard pretty good?
Then, I was just going to say, back then Q Cup was just as good as Super League.
Yeah, okay.
So, I enjoyed it, mate. And I was out of the cities. I was living in a nice country town, which is something that I grew up in, which it was good to me.
Yeah.
And I've never even thought about leaving, buddy, to be honest. I used to fly home every year and do the international stuff.
Yeah.
But besides that, no, heavily invested here. Properties and businesses and wife, 2 kids. So
Well, I actually had a question here.
I don't see me leaving here.
I actually had a question here saying Rockhampton, tell me about it and why Rocky? That was actually my next question to ask you. You've already answered that. You just got everything set up there.
The people, 100%. Yep, the people. There's not enough. There's not too many people, but there's enough and they're all good people. Yeah, I like country towns. I like not having traffic on my way to and from work. I like, if I want to go somewhere, it's not a 3-hour drive across the city and wondering how many people are going to be there when you get there and if it's even enjoyable. I like to stay out of the way, Woody.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And obviously, mate, you've been well adopted by that community too. You've been there for a while now and giving back too, mate. I know you're a guy who gives it back a lot, so I know that you're a big member of that community as well.
I love the place. I can't speak highly enough of it.
What about the heat? How are you going with that? It's in Helens, boy, to like it's about 38 degrees there and 9% humidity. Dodging the crocodiles.
Did I ever tell you the story about the first day I arrived for training?
No, but I want to hear it.
So I left Manchester January 6th in 2009, -10, all rugged up, 36-hour flight. Landed in Rocky, still in my jeans and my denim jacket, beanie. Hadn't slept the whole way. And as I get off the plane, I'd get hit by, all I can describe is just a warm smack to the face. And there's press and media all down. I was like, oh, shit. Anyway, so I come walking down, mate. Coach picks me up from the airport. Hop in, bud. We'll go and get you some training gear. We're on the field in 3 hours. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So hopped out, went down to the field, showed me around, met some people. And he said, all right, we're in the middle of pre-season now. The boys are all pretty fit. We're going to do some 100-meter sprints. We're going to do 30 of them. And it's going to be a 45-second turnaround. So you got 20 seconds to get there. You got 25 seconds to rest. We're going to do 30 sprints.
Oh, my God.
I got to about 24 and passed out, but I wasn't going to quit. I had to pass out.
Quit. Holy crap. Holy crap. How was it taking to adjust?
54, I'm still trying. 54-degree change in weather and straight into training with no sleep.
With your beanie on, everyone in the airport must have thought, who's this guy?
But I think straight from that day, the whole club and the town, it would have been easy for me to say, I'm not training this week. I just jumped straight in. And once they've seen that, he's okay, he's genuine. Because there has been people come over before and kind of, throw the towel in and just ease the street for a bit.
Oh, that's good, mate. That's so good. So tell me, just back up a little bit if you don't mind. So I want to ask you a couple of questions about the rugby league and the sport, right? So I know you played it from a young age in the union, you're saying as well, but did you learn some life lessons with sport? Like, what was the power of the sport? Like, did it help with your mental health? Did it help with, everything. Community? Like, tell me some of the things that you got out of sport.
Every life lesson, I think, has come from sports. I think just the introspection, self-reflection, learning when you lose, learning where your weak points are and how to work harder. Identity. Even just winning and losing. I think kids have been robbed of that recently. It's so important to lose because if you don't lose, you don't know what you're going to be good at. And if people keep telling you you're good at everything, then you're going to be good at nothing. And that's the truth. I mean, I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Community was massive. So, you go into a team, whether it's a rep team, a new local team, all the way up to international squads, you dropped into a room of 25 strangers, or most of them strangers, and by the end of the day, you've got 20 new best friends, and I don't think that's something that can be replaced without sports. If you think about any other workplace, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Mental health, I think you obviously putting aside just the physical activity and the benefits of that, chasing a goal and not having a plan B to fall back on whenever times get tough, having that goal in mind and something to strive for, I think, is important. You don't get time to think about, things that are relevant in the world. And then the last thing is, I think something that can be replicated later on in life is just having something that's harder than what your normal life is. So choosing to put yourself into something that's so much tougher than every day-to-day activity that you would do. The rest of life becomes easy, mate, because you're choosing to do this activity that's so much tougher than life. I think you take the option of sitting on the couch all day, all of a sudden those big things in life are now huge and nothing's bigger than them or tougher than them. And that's when those challenges become kind of, I don't know, they can suck you in. Yeah. Choosing to put yourself into something that's tougher than life, I think, is a big part.
Yeah, well said, mate.
Of that mental health journey.
That's huge. And if you don't mind, like, and pass on this if you want to, but did you have some dark days yourself? Did you go through any?
Yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah? Are you happy to share anything with
that? God, mate, daily. I mean, every single day, because there's no blueprint of how to do this, how to become a professional athlete, how to stay there. There is no blueprint. It's you work hard, and you can work as hard as you want. If the opportunity doesn't come, you're not gonna get anything. It doesn't matter how good you are. Like, I can tell you 50 lads that have never even played Q Cup that are better than some of the lads I know played NRL. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of self-doubt that can creep in there, man. But it's a real tough time for me. Retiring was hard because, like you said, look, I was a big part of every team that I was in. I tried to be, the leader in different ways, on the field and off the field. And they say an athlete dies two deaths: one when you retire, and then one at the end of your life. And that one was hard to replicate. So again, when I got to that place and I woke up, the next day, for the last 20 years, somebody's been telling me where to be every minute of the day, what to wear, lunch will be made for you, you'll be here at this time. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you got so much time with nothing to do. Mm. And that's when I chose to throw myself headfirst into boxing and work as hard as I could there. And, that came with a different community. And again, the principles of success were the same. It was just hard work.
Mm. And what happened when you finished boxing? Did you have a low point, or did you have like businesses?
No,
and work
I was ready.
And family?
I was ready. Yeah. I was ready, Woody, because I'd slowly made that transition with family and work and what I wanted to do in life. So it was a good stepping stone, to be honest, because it wasn't a huge 30 best friends you see every single day. It was kind of like a part-time retirement into something that I love. Okay. And it's twice as hard, by the way. Mm-hmm. Into okay, now you've got a family, now you can step off into life and stop running your body into the ground and punishing yourself.
And do you ever still have bad days now, Webby?
I don't. It's all relative, isn't it, mate? I don't want to sit here and say I don't, because I do, but relative to what? It's somebody's bad days relative to mine might be the best day that I could ever dream of, but then my best day could be something that somebody else along even 3 doors down couldn't even think of. So I don't know how to answer that to me.
No, but
I get angry? Yeah. Do I miss some of the things I did? Yes.
Yeah.
Was I pissed off that I didn't have a Mad Monday to go to for the last 10 years? Of course.
So what are some of the things that you do now to look after yourself? Like, with your...
Just different priorities, mate. Okay. Just family. Everything's family for me now. Yeah. Kids. I'm so lucky, honestly. My 6-year-old and my 9-year-old are both playing, so I'm coaching their teams. Mm-hmm. I still go in and do a lot of wrestling stuff with a couple of teams. I've just had a couple of boxers ask me to start training them, so I'm meeting with a fellow to see about this this building down the road and see if we can get that up and running. And if I do, maybe turn that into a community thing where kids can come and train.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Always giving back, mate. I love that. I want to ask you this question, right? Because it's just come to me now. It's there's a guy who works at our school. I'm at a high school here on the peninsula, Redcliffe, and we've just adopted this Pommy guy. He's from the UK as well, and he used to play a fair bit of footy, but he's our sports coordinator. And he's just a legend. He's a gun. But he uses the same word you use a lot. He uses the word community. And I want to know, is this a UK thing? Like, I know we build communities.
Whereabouts in the UK is he from?
Thrown me now. I don't know. I should know that because he was one of my best mates.
And there's a reason I asked that question, because communities, it can be looked at. Yes, it could be a UK thing. Everything's built in the small towns that kind of border your big cities.
Yep.
It's all community. As soon as you cross that borderline into a city, there's zero community. And that's the reason I asked the question, because that could be the reason he uses that word. You won't find people from London, Manchester, Newcastle. You won't find them using that word.
But see, you use that word even coming back to Rocky, didn't you? Like, it's important to you. It's important that you're part of a community.
Well, it's the only thing. I mean, without it, it doesn't matter how successful I am without it. Then there's nothing to share it with, celebrate it with, or even use it for. It's a very self-serving thing to be successful on your own. I think you need that community around you. And even, failing. If you're on your own, it's a very lonely place. Failing.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's last Monday I took the girls they're doing trampolining. And I was listening to I had a seminar to go to, so I was just online, and they're talking about, I think it's from the push-up challenge, they're talking about mental health, and it's like a young psychologist, and he's gun too, and he's open and really easy to relate to and listen to. But he was talking about one of the best things to help young kids with when they're going through some poor negative mental health. And, you hear Tony Robbins and that, and they always talk about exercise is number one and sleep, And he said, number one thing to help people with negative mental health is being part of a community, having purpose,
100%.
being part of something that you unite together. Yeah,
this is nothing new, buddy. This is centuries old. The whole of humanity is built on this. Everything was built around the church. That was all community.
Yeah,
we've lost our way that way a lot recently, but ever since mankind has been walking, we've always needed community. I fully agree with him. I think that comes first.
It's interesting, isn't it? You just got to get people on the right track with some purpose. So what are you doing now, mate, with yourself?
It's just harking back to the old saying as well. Like, I can tell you a lot about a man by the people that he surrounds himself with. And if you surround yourself with the wrong people or nobody at all, then, those dark holes become bigger and easier to get into. And if you surround yourself with people that want better for you, then those become avoidable. I think he's right. I think community's first. Yeah,
well, it's kind of what you said too, mate. So it's certainly important. It's certainly important. And I was just thinking, like, I know you said to me before, you're talking about the way you're serving communities, helping the youth and helping, maybe get into helping people boxing and some coaching and stuff. So do you have another 5-year plan now? Does Webby think 5 years ahead, or does he think, I'm just going to do the best I can now?
No, I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always thinking ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
Always thinking ahead, mate. What I want to do. So I've started a management company. I've dipped my toe into the music world. And I've got a couple of bands signed. I want to expand. I want to set up a recording studio here.
Oh, good.
Here's my 5-year plan.
Yes.
The 5-year plan is I want Rockhampton to be the music centre of Australia. Now,
yes.
Sounds incredible, sounds stupid, but there's a few things I've got in place, ready to go, that I would like to get it. I want to build it like the Nashville of the USA. And
Awesome.
The problem's going to be the economy and the economy round here. So putting on festivals, putting on bands, open mics. I want to open a recording studio around here. I've built one at my house, but I don't really want people around my house all the time. So I'll look at this building and see if there's room there for that. And then just, like they say, what are you building and people will come. I don't worry about whether people are going to think it's successful or not. As long as it's cool, people will
the vision.
Come.
That's right. If you keep people to buy into your vision, mate, and that's unreal. That's good. That's really good. All right. Well, I hope you got a free ticket for me. We'll come up and have a watch. That'll be good. Will you be on stage yourself?
Maybe not on the microphone. Maybe on the guitar. Not on the microphone. Probably not. You can hear my voice now. I've been punched an elbow in the throat that many times. It doesn't work that way anymore.
At least you've got an excuse. Hey, we were talking. I think Rach and I were talking about probably less than a week ago how when we came up that time, and I think we had a I don't know, we had a night together out there, and we went to a local pub there, and Busby Marie was playing. Remember that? And you
got me to come up and sing a song.
Yeah, you guys were singing a song together.
That's right.
It was awesome. And I remember going, like, we're just on the beers or whatever, and I remember going, hey, Busby, do you want a drink?
That's right.
Yeah, mate, I do.
I remember that.
I do want a drink. I don't know, one of your local pubs there. I said, okay, what would you like? Because we're drinking beers. He goes, I want an espresso martini. And I went, oh, yeah. And I started laughing. He goes, no, that's what I want. And I went, son of a bitch, that's going to cost me $20. No worries.
And who knew that 12 months after that he'd be the biggest star in Australia?
Oh, all right, mate. Unbelievable. That was some good times. Mate, we've had a good chat already. I could talk to you for ages, but look.
I'm all yours, mate. I'm in no rush. Don't feel like I have to wrap it up.
I'm just, I only put down like for a few questions, but you've smashed them out. I was surprised. I thought that maybe you might have some plans to leave that hot place, but it sounds like you're just going to build an empire there and be the emperor. So,
do you know what, Woody? Because I've got no intentions of taking my kids home to see where I grew up. I know people think it's a good thing to do, and it's humbling or whatever. I can humble myself. They don't need that. But I would like them to grow up in a country town, small.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Manners. Yes, please. No, thanks. And then when they get to the age of doing whatever they want to do, they can choose to go down there. It's not like we're deprived of a city. Whenever we need to travel to Brisbane, we travel. We travel quite a lot. So I just want them to have that grounding in a nice country town and hard work is before anything. Like, it's hard work getting out of bed in the morning sometimes here in this heat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got 4 girls between us, and we just know that, we're sort of navigating that teenage space at the moment. But we're the same. We often take them on holidays, and it's always, swags, country. The cattle dogs come out with us, and just out in environment. There's no technology. There's nothing. We don't actually have much technology here anyway. But it's grounding, and you just see those authentic connections come back. If they just, for half a day or quarter of a day, they think they're bored. The next thing they're picking up rods and they're catching flathead off the beach themselves, and it's just unreal.
Even climbing trees and falling out of them, it's so important. And look, it's not for everybody. I get it, but for me, it's just important. It's an important part of life that these kids, my kids, sorry. I think it's good for them. What sports are the 4 girls into?
Oh, mate, it's crazy. So 2 girls are into trampolining, and they've just finished doing netball. So 3 of them, trampolining and netball, and the 4th one, netball and a lot of dance and
nice.
But loving dance. A lot of early mornings and late afternoons, but just keep them busy, and it's good for their bodies and mental health and chat. Good, like you talk about community, different friends, like-minded friends, which we love. On the weekend, just went and watched them at a little concert, and just proud of them. So good. Sport's so good, isn't it? So
it's good. It's so good. We're both of my boys now, so they do obviously the rugby and rugby union and rugby league, but they're both. So I wanted them to have a team sport and then something where they could do their own thing and try to get better themselves. So they're into jiu-jitsu, and
nice.
Honestly, I believe I believe it could be the single best sport for any kid, girl or boy, that I've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
Just as a development tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've even told people, they always say, oh, well, the boys box. Nope. If they want to fight jiu-jitsu, they can, but no, I'm not doing boxing. I'm not letting them get punched in the head at that age.
No. Well, it's so good for their core strength, flexibility, confidence, all those things, isn't it?
Confidence, man. Just the jiu-jitsu, I can't believe it. The change in the kids since they started to now, it's been unbelievable.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
We had went to a bit of a part of a neuroscience program for a year and a half after the sports business, and when we were there, we were helping some kids in trauma that are aged between about 15 and 25, and we had a guest speaker doing, I think it's karate, or maybe I don't know what he was doing, taekwondo or something, but he's probably about 65, and he's still strong as an ox, ridiculous. And the kids just got a question and answer time at the end, and they've gone, you must have had fights in your life, like full on, like in the community, because you know the precious points, and you can fight. And he said, I've never had one physical fight outside of the tournaments, not one. And he said, even now, if I take my family or my wife on a date or go to a dinner as a family, I will sit at the very back in the very corner so I can face everything
back to the wall.
Just be aware. Just be aware. Yeah.
I'm the same. I see my one of the boxing gyms I used to be at there was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian fella, the happiest man you'll ever meet. And I said to my boxing trainer one day, I said, for somebody that's in such a violence, and he has it, he's got a PhD in violence, that's what he does. I said, for somebody that's so involved in violence, why does that man smile every second of every single day? And my boxing coach said to me, wouldn't you if there was nothing in the world that you could be scared of? Like, wow, that's insane. I said, so even around all these fighters, top-level fighters here, he said, boxing's not jiu-jitsu. As soon as you engage in a fight with a jiu-jitsu person, it's over. There's nothing you can do. You can't cheat the system by being athletic. It's a system that takes time, and if you haven't put the time in, you can't beat it. He's put 35 years into it, and that's why he doesn't fear anybody that he's ever around. And it was just a great outlook on, and it was an honest question that I asked.
So good.
But the way he answered it, it blew my mind.
That's unreal. Right, unreal. Words of wisdom everywhere, isn't it? It's always about the association, isn't it? Things you pick up, nuggets of gold, So all right, mate. Well, look, I've got some really interesting, fun questions for you, if that's all right, coming up. But I just want to ask, is there anything else that I've missed that you wanted to share? Like, there's some great learnings out there, and hopefully a fair few of the kids at school listen to these podcasts when they're at gym. I tell them to stop listening to little life skill lessons and do some heavy metal music while you're training, but they love the little guests, mate. They got some negative goals for them, so thank you. Was there anything else that you want to share, mate, that I hadn't asked?
Oh, no, I don't think so, mate. I think you pulled it all out of me there.
I think it's really important, mate, that what you've spoken about. It's so good, so refreshing to chat to you again, mate. So this is the serious question time. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's your quick questions. So quick questions for quick answers. Webby's.
I'll try. I'll promise I'll try, but I like to think of all things before I say them.
Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Favourite song?
Ever or right now? Because there's two different ones.
All right. Well, give us both. Go on. I know you want to.
Right now, Zach Top, Use Me. It's fantastic. Anybody that wants to listen to it, go and get it. Favourite song ever, Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger.
All right. Beautiful. What about a favourite movie of all time?
Man on Fire. Okay. Denzel.
Yep. Love Denzel. Does Webby have a favourite meal?
Yes. Steak.
I thought you were going to say yes. There's your answer. Steak man, rightio. Favourite drink?
If you want to be specific, ribeye.
Ooh, the premium. Okay. All right. Favourite drink?
What was the next one, sorry?
Favourite drink?
I don't drink much nowadays, so I'm just going to say cappuccino.
Okay. What about your favourite sport? Is it league?
No.
What is it?
I like MMA because it incorporates both jiu-jitsu and boxing.
You're not going to get in the ring, are you?
No, God, no.
Okay.
You've seen my body, mate. There's injuries everywhere.
What about Webby's favourite leisure activity?
Golf.
All right. Do you have a? If I asked
handicap, yes, 9.
That's not bad.
No, cool. I'm sorry.
If I asked your wife, what would she say your most annoying habit is?
Playing the guitar when the kids are asleep.
Ooh, okay.
She hates it.
Do you have like a favourite? I was going to ask you before. Do you have a favourite player you played against or with?
Oh, that's so tough. I do, and you're going to be surprised. The favourite player I ever played with was a man called Neil Wyatt.
Okay.
The Wasp, Neil Wyatt. I think if you go back and ask any of the Broncos lads from 2000 to 2009, they'll say the same thing as well. Against, I can't say favourite because I hated playing against him, but it probably would have been Manu Vatavai.
Okay.
Only because at Wales, as the hooker, you defended at 6 off the scrums.
Okay, yeah.
And the Kiwis had the wingers coming off the back fence from a scrum, so there was nowhere to hide, and it was quite insane. But Aaron Gutenbiel was quite good actually as well.
Okay.
Played against him. Obviously, your Cam Smith, Darren Lockyer, Thurston they're all givens, but just a little bit outside the box. Those two were good. They were different.
Okay. All right. What about are you a funny man? Like any favourite jokes or anything like that? If I put you on the spot and said like,
on the spot for a joke. How blue can we be? Wait, is this for kids or?
I can click censored. Yes.
I've got a dark sense of humour. You know me, Woody, but I don't want to go and spoil your ratings with the teenage kids, mate.
What about a favourite saying? Do you have a favourite saying, like quote or anything? Like, did you have anything that sort of got you going before a boxing match or a game? Did you have anything in your head, like a slogan or a saying?
No, nothing like that. There's something I've always told myself: good things and bad things, was this too shall pass. Okay. And it was just always to remind myself not to get too high on the highs or too down on the lows.
That's good. I like that. That's good. All right. Well, let's progress. You've done very well on the quick questions, so let's go on to the next. This gets higher in complexity, by the way, as you can tell. This one is now called one-word answers. So you only have one-word association to these ones. And the first one you're going to love. Are you ready? It is coffee.
What do I say? Just one word back?
Yeah.
You didn't explain the game very well, Woody.
Listen here, mate. I haven't had many punches in the head here, so I'm saying I'm right here.
I'm not playing a game, but I can't win. I need to know the rules. What are we doing?
Always need the details, don't you? Nothing's ever changed.
Go on. So you mean word association?
Okay, I have to stop you now. Another blast in the past. Sorry, we're talking about the time when we chatted to the community about League Tech coming into Rockhampton. And I was up on stage, and I think Petra was in the background, but then Rachel and you were sitting on the table, and she kept saying that you were playing with her pen. She was playing with your pen or something, and your book, and she kept playing, feeling it, and you said it was annoying you because it wasn't nice and straight.
And she did it for weeks afterwards, and I knew. I knew something was off, and then I think like 3 weeks later, I looked at her in her face, and she was laughing her head off. I was like, "You've been doing that on purpose, haven't you?" I was like, "Yep, it's been winding me up for weeks. I've got the biggest OCD." Some lad was doing it at work to me. Every time I walked out my office door, I've got a little foot mat where you wipe your feet on the way in, and he'll give it a little kick so it was just off centre every time he walked in and out. So if I'm going to the toilet, I'm looking at it going, who the F keeps messing with me, man? I got to stand there, straighten it back up. It's insane. It drives me insane.
Well, she said after that thing, I said, "Oh, no." I said, "No." She said, "No, it was good." She said, "We kept saying to me, are you doing this on purpose?" I said, "What were you doing?" He goes, "Oh, no, I was just playing with a pen or something on the desk." Obviously, he was bored what I was saying. And then she goes, he kept straightening it up, and I didn't know I was doing it, she reckons. Because he was like, "Are you doing this on purpose?"
Knew. I'm guarantee she knew. She knew what she was doing. Even just little taps on the corner so it wasn't in line with the edge of the desk. I was like, oh no, who did that? And it was only her next to me.
So does that mean you're a bit of a neat freak at home too? Does everything have to have its order and its place?
Yeah.
And
It's a strange thing. If there's something done, if the kids lose the remote, I'm done. I'm done for the day. If I wake up in the morning and the Apple TV remote's not on the same place at the bench that it should be, my day's ruined. I've got to go for a run. That's strange, isn't it? Even just saying that out loud, I'm starting to realise how stupid that is.
So if I could break into your house and I would put like the knives and the
Don't
forks in
steal
different
anything.
places.
It's all insured. Just move everything around.
Yeah, if I put the knives and forks in a different place, would you be upset?
Yeah, I'd rather you take my car.
Oh gosh! All right, we didn't get very far in this game. Sorry. Okay, one word association. We've done coffee. How about tea? Did you give me an answer for coffee?
Lovely. I didn't.
What's the answer for coffee? So tea's lovely. What's coffee?
Better.
Okay. Boxing.
Tough.
Going to work.
Necessary.
Family.
Everything.
Rugby league.
Life. That's just life.
Yep. Sleep.
Important.
A cold beer.
Nah.
Okay. Mindfulness.
Where do I go with that? Mindfulness. Oh, you got me, Woody.
This is good.
You got me. Mindfulness.
Does anything in particular?
I don't want to use a boring word. Mindfulness. Aided.
Oh, that's a big word. All right.
No, I couldn't think of anything better.
What about soccer?
I'm going to get so much shit for this. Soccer.
Or do you mean say football?
I was going to say, how do I say it's the wrong word in one word? Soccer doesn't exist. It's football.
Okay. Friends.
Important.
All right. Social media.
Useless.
Nice. All right. You've gone okay in that one, okay? I'm going to give you like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, you got me with mindfulness. I'm still trying to think on that one.
You have to let that go. You can't be OCD about that.
I can't.
When you go to bed tonight, you're not going to be able to sleep,
you at midnight. I'll text you at midnight. I've got it. You didn't win, you bastard.
Bell, mate. I'll be awake.
It's a draw.
Wait, can we do the whole podcast again? I've just got the answer now.
Yeah.
All right, we're up to our last round. You ready?
I am.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Well, you're going to answer these questions.
Same thing?
No, you can answer this a bit.
Oh, just questions. Yeah, all right.
Do you want me to detail it out? Do you give you some bullet points about what we're doing? Here we go. Ready?
Well, you've just gone through 2 rounds, and then you said we were on our last round. Are you ready? I was like, oh, what are we doing?
All right. How about this one? How about Webby's down to his last $20? What's he doing?
Ooh.
What's he doing with the last $20?
If I ever get down to my last 20, put 5 away for each kid and to learn how to turn that 10 into 50. And then the same thing, I'll put 10 for each kid and learn how to turn that 30 into 100.
So,
and we'll go from there.
So basically you're going to gamble it.
No. Learn how to turn it into.
Mate, you got $10. You got no food. You've only got $10 left.
I'll tell you what I
What are you
could
gonna
do
wait
with
for?
$10, right? You want me to tell you what I'd do with $10?
Yep.
I'd go down to I'd go down to the $1 shop here. I'd buy $10 of Coke and I'd go and sell them for $3 each. I'd do that
yes,
50
entrepreneur.
times.
Yes. Yes. That's what I want to hear. That's gold. That's good. I don't think I'm going to ask the other question now. That's just the answer. That's good. All right. What if Webby gained another $5 million? What would you do with the $5 million?
Another 5 million. Put it with the other 5 million,
Yeah.
I think. I would 5 million at this stage. Not a lot, is it? Doesn't go as far as it sounds like it should. I think I would. Property's gone. I would keep investing in watches. I don't think they're going to stop.
What if they're a stopwatch? Sorry for laughing my own joke here. That's the kids are in bed. That's bad. Sorry.
That's the crowd
I'll
dealing with it.
I'll edit that bit out.
5 million. It would be something along the lines of high interest, long term.
Okay.
And it'd be for the kids. It wouldn't be for me.
Thinking of others again, mate. You're a legend. Rightio. What about if Webby was down to his last meal? He's on death row. He's got one more meal to go.
Yep.
What's he having? Steak?
Ribeye, medium rare, probably a kilo of it. If I could go to Nando's and get some chips with the peri salt on, I'd put them at the side of it.
Oh, look at you. You know exactly what you want.
Yeah, I've never thought about that before. Every hangover felt like death row, and that's what would get me out of it.
Okay. What about this one? Would you rather have one wish now or 3 wishes in 5 years' time? And you can't have one wish to wish for more wishes.
Yeah. It's a tough question, this, isn't it? One wish now or 3 wishes in 5 years.
A lady at work actually asked me this question. She said, you got to ask this question on the podcast. And I said, rightio, I've got a guy tonight who is a legend.
It is. I've heard it before, and I don't think there's a right answer, but I think I'd take the 3 and 5. So then I could pass one to each person in my family.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice. All right. I'm trying to think of how your brain pattern would go coming up with those 3 wishes. Be a lot of analysis happening there, wouldn't it? All right. What about this one?
I think one wish right now would be, it'd have to be self-serving, which it's hard. 3, well, obviously the disclaimer is when I get the 3 and 5, I want to give 2 away.
Yep. So what would you do with the one wish
I'm
now?
always making a deal, would he? One wish now. Fucking, I wish my neighbour's dog had stopped barking.
That's us here.
You know what I should do? I should go and put it in my garden and see how he likes it.
Go on.
You idiot.
All right. Oi, I'm the one with the jokes here, mate. You just pipe down there. All right. Here's one that you will love this one. Webby's now trapped on an island. He's only allowed to take 3 people. And who are they and why? And it can't be your family members.
What's the purpose? To rebuild civility or?
No, we're not going to overanalyze. It's up to you. You can be anyone in the whole world, even people you haven't even met. You're going to have 3 people on the island.
Ooh. Are they dead or alive?
Let's say an all-time, over time. So they can be dead if they want. But they won't be dead on the island. They can be purposeful on the island.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are you taking and why?
Elon Musk. I'm fascinated by the way he thinks, and I think he'd get us back up and running wherever we were. Gonna need some entertainment. I'd take Willie Nelson.
Oh, nice.
2 reasons. I love him and he'd annoy other people that don't. That's fun for me. And Robbie Fowler.
Okay. Why?
You know, he's God from where we're from.
Okay.
And he knows how to have a good time, so
keep entertaining a bad situation.
He'd put me in the bad situation. That's what I'd enjoy.
Yeah, nice. All right, mate. 3 serious questions to finish off.
All right.
Any regrets in life?
Plenty. Lots.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Lots. Mate, people say that they don't have regrets. They either delusional or they haven't learned the regrets. I've got lots of regrets. None of them significant enough to bother me now.
Okay.
But just not having, not having the knowledge that you probably need at 18.
Yeah.
To stay out of trouble, knowing what could be coming your way, thinking you're invincible. I think everybody could probably have the same ones to different parts of their life.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the best thing you've ever done?
The best thing I've ever done. Dear Lord. I mean, having my 2 sons, I can't beat that. I know it's selfish, but I don't think I can beat that, mate. Having my children.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, with you with that one. That's good. All right. Last one, and this is one about this is more like a physical one. It's not a physical one. So when Webby looks in the mirror, what does he see?
Not a physical one.
No. So when you look in the mirror, I'm talking about the physical characteristics. What are some of the things that you see as a man?
Gotcha. The flawed person that tried hard at everything he did, never gave up on anything I ever tried at, was never scared of being the worst person at something, knowing that I had to work to get better at it. And once I'd started, never giving up until I was better and better, if not the best at it.
Yeah, nice. And I think I saw that you and mate in a year and a half. So good, mate. Mate, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for being open, expressing everything, the rawness and just the humble man that you are. And I just really hope people get a lot out of this podcast and hearing, the things you've been through. I know we could unpack a lot of those things and be here for hours and be love to do that actually. But, just
yours anytime. I'm more than happy to come back on whenever you want me, Woody.
It'd be awesome. I just love the stories too that, just being so humble and still about community and about investing in others, mate. So you're a legend. So I just want to thank you for that.
Oh, there's some bad ones as well, mate. I've lived a few different lives. It's not all good.
No, but I mean, like you said, you've learned from your past and you always want to get better. And I think you can obviously hear that in your voice. So I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.